Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we're here, and it's time for the Hungarian Grand Prix review on the channel. I'll admit, obviously a few days late. Sunday was the first time I ever had to work on a Sunday, so I had to watch the race a little later, and then didn't really, know. I didn't feel like sitting down and recording this yesterday, basically. Let's put it that way. So here we are, Tuesday. And obviously, a very, very wild race from the start. We'll have to talk about the turn one crash, and of course the eventual winner. So I'm excited about this one. This one's going to be a good race. So to start, it was wet on the track, so there was intermediates, which definitely made the race wild to start. Basically, the track was a little wet, just enough to require the intermediate tires. So it wasn't raining that hard, just a little bit of rain. So into the first corner, good getaway from Hamilton, Verstappen, great drive away. Perez was there as well. Lando Norris, though, brilliant start, passed around the outside of Valtteri Bottas. This is when it went wrong because Valtteri Bottas is involved. So, one of the least talented drivers in the grid makes a mistake, doesn't brake in time, slides into Lando Norris, taking him out, who hits into Max Verstappen. In the process, Valtteri Bottas goes and hits into Sergio Perez. So we have Lando Norris out, Valtteri Bottas out, and Sergio Perez. We also have, further back, Lance Stroll trying to slow down for this. He makes a mistake, slides on one of the curbs, hitting Charles Leclerc. Lance Stroll's out, as is Charles Leclerc. So we have 5 drivers out from this incident, which is caused by Valtteri Bottas and his inability to drive properly. I think this incident, for Mercedes it works out because they take out some Red Bulls, but I think ultimately this hurts Bottas really bad. They're saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter." Toto Wolff's like, "No, it's good. We're not worried about it. This is a big problem. This is definitely a big problem." So, we see that wild crash. Max is really the only one that's able to keep going. He takes a lot of damage to the side of the car, and that car is really not good. But he's able to keep going either way. So, what happens after that? Hamilton's got the lead. Esteban Ocon gets through, along with Sebastian Vettel. Those are your top 3. So, this gets red flagged. There's a lot of debris all over the track. So, all the cars come in, they get repair done to whatever damage they have. Also, Daniel Ricciardo got hit by Leclerc when he was spinning, I believe. So, Ricciardo had damage as well. So, most of the cars that crashed were out. Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen kept going with very damaged cars. So, out of the red flag, all the cars are on intermediate still. Every single driver besides Lewis Hamilton, though, comes in and pits. So you have Hamilton on the grid start by himself. Absolute wild scene. There he is, taking the 5 red lights himself, and go, and all the other cars coming out of the pits on their mediums, I believe? They're mostly on mediums. So, they're all coming out. So Mercedes makes this mistake. Hamilton has to come in the next lap and get on the right tire. So he's in the back. So he's behind the Haas cars and the broken Red Bull and the broken McLaren. Also, we should note some penalties for both the Alfa Romeo drivers came through. Kimi Räikkönen with an unsafe release straight into Mazepin. Mazepin was actually taken out in the pits. So, another car out. Giovinazzi got a penalty for something. I don't even know what he got a penalty for, but I forgot what it was at this point. But we had that Mercedes knew they had to get by the two slow, damaged cars because Max is not able to even make a pass on the Haas at this point. Mick Schumacher's going faster than him with his fully working car. So we're seeing this go along. Mercedes makes the move to come in, undercut the Red Bull and the McLaren. They have to respond, but Hamilton gets out, does a faster lap, obviously in his fully working car. He's faster than both of those out of the pits, and he's just free to start passing cars. Hungary's a track that's hard to pass, but once you get by some of those damaged cars, he's able to start, passing everybody, work his way through the field. Till later, we had awesome battle with Fernando Alonso. They're going, wheel to wheel through some of these corners. Absolutely brilliant racing. Took a few laps. Fernando Alonso holding off Hamilton, doing a brilliant job helping his teammate Ocon, who's still in the lead, who's been leading basically the entire race since Hamilton pit. So Hamilton, we should note, pit again to get newer tires. That helped him really start catching all these cars in the front. He did one more stop. Very similar to the strategy like we've seen, again, Hungary 2019, or Spain this year, or from Red Bull in France this year. That lose your positions, lose a little bit of time, get new tires, be way faster. So that worked out. He's able to get by, but again, Fernando Alonso doing a great job holding him up. And, Hamilton didn't have enough time to then catch Ocon at first and Vettel in second, so he had to settle for third. But there was a fuel issue. They couldn't get enough fuel from the Aston Martin, so Sebastian Vettel actually got disqualified. So Hamilton got second. Carlos Sainz then got third. So if we look here at the overall race results, Ocon first, Hamilton after Vettel's penalty got second, Sainz third, Alonso fourth. A little further down we see Latifi and Russell both getting points for Williams, Max Verstappen getting ninth and scoring 2 points in the end. Also, it was noticeable that Hamilton was definitely struggling after the race. He was definitely very tired, which he said is long COVID. Which he said, training has been harder, and he said he was similar tired like that in Britain, just not as bad. So you could see he was just not feeling in the interview. Up there on the podium, he was very tired. You can tell that he's definitely not 100% there. Of course, last year he had COVID for the Secure Grand Prix, so he missed that race. That's the one George Russell stepped in and almost won. And you could tell the next race in Abu Dhabi, Hamilton shouldn't have came back, but because he's still been feeling that. So that affects him throughout the year. It's absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. So other notable things, Pierre Gasly with the fastest lap. Came in and stole that from Hamilton towards the end. Red Bull with the fastest pit stop. And Fernando Alonso with driver of the day. Again, Esteban Ocon winning a race. Absolutely wild. That's insane. Did not expect Ocon to be winning a race, but we now jump to the standings, where in the last two races, Max Verstappen's gained 2 points and has dropped to second behind Lewis Hamilton, who's got a first and a second in that time. So Hamilton takes the lead of the driver standings. Max goes from having a 33-point lead going into Britain to having an 8-point deficit going into Belgium. So absolutely wild. Mercedes doing their best to take out Red Bull. In the constructors, Mercedes with 303, Red Bull with 291, because in the last two races, Red Bull scored 2 points, and Mercedes had scored 3 podiums. Hamilton and Bottas both in Britain, and Hamilton was second in Hungary. So a lot of points there. But looking down this list, Williams in 8th now with their 10 points. That puts them solid ahead of Alfa Romeo and Haas. As Alfa Romeo has 3 points, Haas with 0. Raikkonen with 2 points, Giovinazzi with 1. It looks like, who got it this week? I've seen one of them got it. Raikkonen got 1 point in this race. He finished in 11th, but got increased to 10th with the disqualification of Sebastian Vettel. Now, to note on that could change still. Vettel's disqualification, Aston Martin has until Thursday to protest that and give the correct amount of fuel. You have to give 1 liter of fuel to the FIA after the race for them to examine, make sure nothing's illegal with it. They had apparently 0.3 liters, but they're saying that there was 1.4 liters in the car that they could use. So it'll be interesting to sort of see if they got that out, if they can protest that. So there's potential that these results could go back down. Mercedes will lose 3 points. Red Bull will lose a point. Williams would lose 4 points. So some of those things you see there, it might change depending on the results of that. But at the moment of recording this, Sebastian Vettel has been disqualified. So we're going to give the results based on that. I have a feeling it's going to stand, but who knows? Maybe they'll change it. I mean, Vettel deserves that second place, so we'll see. If you're Carlos Sainz, you've been handed a trophy, taken it away, handed it again, because it sort of changed it. They kept changing what the results were. It was obviously the normal finish. Vettel's disqualified. Then provisionally he's second, and now it seems like he's disqualified again. I have no idea, but at the moment he's disqualified. So, yeah, that's that. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the end of August for the Belgian Grand Prix.